Hi there, welcome back to Financial Fitness for Beginners. In this video, we're going to discuss one of the most important aspects of personal finance, emergency funds. Well, everything seems to be a very important aspect anyways. We'll be talking about why having an emergency fund is important, how to build one, and some tips to keep it going. So, let's get started. Why you need an emergency fund. An emergency fund is a savings account that you set aside for unexpected expenses or events, such as a job loss, medical emergency, or major home or car repair. The reason why you need an emergency fund is simple. Unexpected events can happen at any time, and without a financial safety net, you may find yourself in a difficult financial situation. An emergency fund can help you cover unexpected expenses without relying on high-interest credit cards or loans, which can add to your debt. Let's say there are two workers on Wall Street, John and Jane. John understood the importance of having an emergency fund and made sure to save for it. On the other hand, Jane didn't see the need to have one and spent her money on luxuries. One day, both John and Jane were laid off due to a financial crisis in the company. John was able to manage for a few months because of his emergency fund, while Jane struggled to make ends meet and had to rely on credit cards and loans. Eventually, Jane accumulated a lot of debt and had to declare bankruptcy. Meanwhile, John was able to get back on his feet much quicker and even started his own successful business. This example shows how having an emergency fund can make all the difference in times of financial crisis. But wait a minute, this sounds like savings, right? But no, it's not. Savings and emergency funds are two different types of money that you should have in your financial toolbox. Savings are funds you set aside for planned expenses or goals, such as a down payment on a home or a vacation. Emergency funds, on the other hand, are funds you set aside for unexpected or urgent expenses that could arise in the future, such as a medical emergency, car repair, or sudden job loss. While both savings and emergency funds involve setting aside money, they have different purposes and should be kept separate. Savings are long-term and should be invested to grow over time, whereas emergency funds should be easily accessible and kept in a liquid account such as a savings account or a money market fund. It's important to have both savings and an emergency fund, as they serve different purposes. By having a separate emergency fund, you can ensure that you are prepared for unexpected financial challenges, while still working towards your long-term savings goals. How to build an emergency fund. Building an emergency fund requires discipline and consistency. Here are some tips to get started. 1. Set a savings goal. Determine how much money you want to have in your emergency fund. A good rule of thumb is to have 3 to 6 months' worth of living expenses saved. This should cover your rent or mortgage and living expenses like groceries, medications, or outstanding loans. 2. Create a budget. Knowing how much money you have coming in and going out can help you identify areas where you can cut back on expenses and free up money for your emergency fund. We broke down budgeting in one of our videos, feel free to check it out. 3. Start small. Saving a little bit each week can add up over time. Even saving $10 or $20 a week can help you reach your savings goal over time. 4. Automate your savings. Set up automatic transfers from your checking account to your emergency fund savings account. This way, you don't have to remember to make a deposit each month. 5. Consider a high-yield savings account. A high-yield savings account can help your money grow faster because they offer higher interest rates than traditional savings accounts. Now let's discuss some tips to keep your emergency fund going. 1. Avoid dipping into your emergency fund for non-emergency expenses. It's important to keep your emergency fund separate from your regular savings account to avoid accidentally using the money for non-emergency expenses. 2. Replenish your emergency fund after using it. If you do need to use your emergency fund, make sure to replenish it as soon as possible. Yes, put that money back. You owe yourself that much. 3. Review and adjust your savings goal. Your savings goal may change over time, especially if your living expenses increase or decrease. Review your emergency fund regularly and adjust your savings goal as needed. 4. Celebrate your progress. Building an emergency fund takes time and effort. Celebrate your progress along the way and keep yourself motivated. There you have it. Now remember, building an emergency fund takes time and effort, but having one can provide peace of mind and financial stability. Start small, automate your savings, and stay disciplined. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more financial tips and advice.